Hi everyone. These past couple of weeks, I have been writing transition documents as I prepare to take my leave. And that's obviously been really hard. But there's a big transition that happens in this week's Parsha where Moshe prepares for his own leave, and he takes initiative. He says, Aaron's just passed away. I know I'm not going to enter into the land. God has just reminded Moshe he's not going to enter into the land. And Moshe says to Hashem, I think we need a succession plan. I think we need a plan for when I'm not here anymore. So Moshe says, Moshe Hashem limor, Yifkud Hashem Elokei Ruchot L'chol Basar Ish Alei Da'ah. God, the God of the spirit of all flesh, you need to appoint a person over the people. And what's that person going to do? He's going to go out before them, and he's going to come in before them, and he's going to take them out and bring them in. The people of Israel should not be like sheep that do not have a shepherd. And then, remember, Moshe describes Hashem as Hashem Elokei Haruchot. So Hashem says back to Moshe, yes, take Joshua, Ish Asher Ruach, a person who has Ruach. So what is this Ruach that Hashem has and that Joshua has, and that perhaps might help achieve this ultimate goal of the people not being like sheep who do not have a shepherd? So Rashi writes about this very beautifully. He strings together a couple of midrashim, and he says, Elokei Haruchot, says Moshe said to God, Amar lefanav ribono shel olam, Master of the universe, galui v'yadua lefanacha da'ato shel kol echad v'echad. It is revealed and known before you the thoughts of every individual person. Ve'enam domim zel lezeh. And they're all different from each other, and you know that they're all different from each other. Mana alehem manhig, appoint upon them a leader, sheyesovel kol echad ve'echad lefi da'ato, who will tolerate each according to their own thoughts and knowledge. And so that is what Moshe is doing when he describes God, when he turns to God as Elokei Haruchot. And then Rashi says, when God describes Joshua as a person who has Ruach, what is this Ruach? Ka'asher sha'alta sheyuchal haloch keneged rucho shel kol echad v'echad. That Joshua has this capability of getting along with the spirit of each individual person also. So God is the God of spirits, in that God knows the spirits of each individual, and Joshua is a person of spirit in that he can get along with each individual. And what does that have to do with the ultimate goal, which is making sure that the people of Israel are not like sheep who lack a shepherd? So I think the idea, straightforwardly, is that when you're shepherding sheep, they don't want to be shepherded. There's a reason why shepherding is a verb as opposed to like a herd of sheep, because sheep don't want to herd on their own, and they kind of each wander off, and the shepherd's job is to kind of force all these individual sheep who aren't super interested in like the group, and who are all kind of individuals to stick together. And the only way to do that, the only way to keep this group of individuals together, is to have someone who's really able to connect with each individual, and who can tap in to that godly capability of knowing the diversity of humanity and appreciating and getting along with all of that diversity. I love that the standard is sovel, it's to tolerate, not to. Aaron, who passed away, by the way, in Parshat Chugat, Aaron was capable of loving everyone. That's the trait, the midah of Aaron. I don't know whether Moshe or Yehoshua actually need that particular that level, but they definitely need to be able to recognize the individuality of people and appreciate them and get along with them, and that's essential in order to keep communities together. So I just wanted to share that with you as a way to think about. We always think about like, how can we do more like imitatio Dei, like imitation of God. How can we be more godly? And that is something that we carry out in our lives all the time. We keep Shabbat because God kept Shabbat, and God invented Shabbat and then kept it on the seventh day. And I think one of the things that Moshe says here is that leaders, but also really everyone, needs to tap into that godly ability to know and recognize the profound diversity of humanity and connect with them and appreciate people where they are. And it's sometimes actually hard to understand just how different every person is from everyone else. And you sometimes assume like, okay, that person, well, they're different from me in that they're older and that they're, I don't know, they like live on a different street and they have 3 kids and I have 1, but otherwise we're exactly the same. And you like fill in the details of someone else's life, like with the details from your own life, and not purposely. Like I think we all kind of cognitively know that everyone is super different, but that just kind of happens. We're just like lazy about it, and we're not as curious about other people as we could be, and we forget just like the profound diversity of humanity. But if we're trying to share in this godly trait that God is Elokei Haruchul L'Kol Basar, and that good leaders are Ish Asher Ruach Bo, are people who share in that same ruach and that appreciation of the ruach of every person and the ability to walk with them, to sheyuchal haloch, and in the words of Rashi, in the words of the Midrash, then we have to get better at actually knowing people deeply and appreciating how different they are from ourselves and from each other. And for me, that's been one of the big privileges of this position that I've had at ASBI, is that I feel like I've gotten to know people in a very special way, and in a way that has taught me so much about how different everyone is and how special. And we also, thank God, we're blessed with like a really wonderfully diverse community. And so that's also been wonderful learning for me about really all different kinds of people, and my position has enabled me to walk over to people and ask them questions about themselves that I think, under normal circumstances you can't walking over is hard. And then in addition to that, we sort of have this sense like, oh, it's not polite to ask them about certain things or whatever it is, too much about their home lives or their families or where they come from. And in my position at the shul, I've really kind of taken advantage of the rights that come with it to sort of gently pry into people's lives and learn more about you all. And that's been just an unbelievable privilege. And I feel like we've built some really special relationships over these past bunch of years and a couple of years, and I hope that we will continue them. And I also hope that everyone will take inspiration from this week's Parsha and remember that people are incredibly diverse and that it's worth being curious about other people in even mundane ways. Everyone cuts their onions differently. And that curiosity helps you appreciate the incredible diversity of God's creation. And it also helps you be a member of community and keep people in community, because when people are seen and recognized and known, they feel valued and known for their distinctiveness and their special traits and qualities. So my bracha to Shabbos and going forward is that you'll be able to recognize and celebrate the diversity of the people that surround you, and to take a little bit of courage to pry into their lives a little bit more than standard politeness might help you, might encourage you to do, and with the ultimate goal of achieving some tiny fraction of God's appreciation for all of humanity, because that is what community requires. So anyways, I just wanted to say, please keep in touch. My contract technically ends on Tuesday, but you will all be in fabulous hands at the shul, but that does not replace the special relationships that we have grown over these past couple of years. And I really look forward to coming back to visit and being in touch over email and Facebook and social media in general. And I'll miss you all so, so, so much. We're also still in Lakeview through the end of July. So hopefully we'll see you when we're out on walks or from a social distance. But Shabbat Shalom. And it's been a real, real pleasure and privilege. Thank you.